but it could be worse. And last fall, it got worse. It got a whole lot worse as Elliott, going for the lead, end over end, side over side. It was a one car, the big one. Another angle. He was okay, but it was a Talladega quality crash. Jeff Hammond, you've really got to be able to see out of these cars to avoid a situation like that.
Dick, today as the big one.
It's very scary. You just hope you can make it through it okay. You hope all your fellow competitors are going to make it through it okay.
Talladega is a track that we run that's very, very hard mentally to run because you don't have much control.
The key to avoiding the big wreck is to never start it.
Trouble, turn one. Newman almost flipped over.
Whether it's a tire going down like Newman last year, a wreck is going to happen here. You just hope you're in the right place at the right time.
You basically got one chance to make your choice. Sometimes it's the right one, and sometimes it doesn't work out.
If a wreck does start, you will have a multiple car wreck.
It's going to be 10 or more cars involved.
It's better to be up front, and that's why you know, you'll see people, the top 5, top 10 cars fall in single file order and just try to, you know, get to the end of the race.
And if I lead every lap, then the chances of me getting in a wreck are pretty slim, so it's real important to try to stay ahead of the mess.
From once the wreck starts to the time the wreck ends, it feels like a long, long time.
Oh, trouble, guys.
But it's something the drivers really don't talk about much of it. You know, you can wreck and it makes a lot of noise, and you have fear and everything going through you. So it's real dramatic out there, and it's something that you're just not thinking about how I'm wrecking and what it feels like.
And when these cars get in a 39-pack wide, there's not a lot of air flowing through it unless you're out leading like Casey Mears, and I think they get sucked into running too much tape.
Jimmy Johnson running right behind Robbie Gordon.
Oh, trouble.
There it is.
17.
Matt Kenseth, the 17.
9.
Casey Kane.
I think it's going to be, I don't think that many guys are going to get in it, y'all.
Darryl, I like what Casey Kane did. He just cut left and cut away from it and slid down, and I don't believe Casey Kane made any contact.
I don't think anybody did. I don't believe the 17 did. Matt Kenseth, the 9 looks like he's driving off.
Yeah, we didn't hit anything. We didn't tear anything up here, I don't think. The towing seems like, well, I don't know. I don't think we heard anything. Just watch the tires so they don't come apart here.
That's Matt Kenseth, and he sounds a little surprised.
Yeah, I can't believe he hadn't torn up something. He may have some damage on the right front. I can't tell just yet.
This happened coming out of the tri-oval, and it puts us under the second caution of the day.
Well, the reason he sounds surprised is he went across the start-finish line in 18th and Kane in 20th, and everybody else was right around him.
Let's see what happened here. 22 car had to check. Well, I guess he's seeing them spin in front of him.
Oh, Casey Kane got turned by Elliott Sadler. He didn't turn left, he got turned.
There you go.
But for being in the middle of the pack and nobody hit anybody really, pretty lucky.
Get a little different view right here.
The yellow car right in the middle of the pack.
Ooh, yeah.
Slid up into Kevin Harvick.
Yep. The tri-oval, and then the 9 got turned by the 38 there, Sadler, but that was because they were all trying to slow down.
You saw the Fox tracks there. He was spinning across the finish line at over 100 miles per hour.
And all I saw was that as Kenseth spins, either the front or the back of his car may have gotten into Kenny Wallace, the side of Kenny's car.
Yeah, they made a little contact right there in the 29 car, actually. But I can't stress enough how difficult the tri-oval is. You'd think it'd be a piece of cake, but there's not enough banking there for the kind of speed we're running. Hit a gear and go, baby.
But you know, we had Jimmy Spencer up here yesterday, and he was talking about that being the toughest part of the racetrack. It always feels like it's loose or wanting to have the tail come around there.
Production pickup on Earth with a 500 horsepower engine. One truck with the legendary Hemi that out-hauls, out-tows, and outperforms the competition.
Yes, that's it. That took out about 15 of them.
Trouble in turn 3, a huge multi-car crash, and they are still piling in. There's Kenny Wallace down on the apron. Derek Cope, Jeremy Mayfield, Rusty Wallace. Among those involved, Rusty getting a push from Terry Labonte.
Man, look at Kurt's car.
Trying to get out of the grass there. Kurt Busch's car is well wrecked, and we are under caution. There is Scott Riggs. The rookie had a great qualifying effort. He started 5th today, and on lap 84. Oh, Casey Kane.
I mean, guys, I see a lot of our guys top 10 in points, like Kurt Busch came in here 2nd in points.
And the word is that thus far, everybody is okay. And we talk a lot about the big one, and we've just had it, but Darrell, since NASCAR took a proactive stance on driver safety in 2001, we've not had a serious injury in the big one. What triggers this?
Let's see what happened over here. Yikes. Looked like it, the 20 car made some contact with the 97 getting into 3 over there. And boy, you can see the results.
And Darrell, that happened down low. A lot of those cars were going high, but Kurt Busch went up the racetrack right there. That got about 6 or 8 of them.
Took a pretty hard lick too. Looking down to the inside, just not quite enough room there, buddy.
And up he comes. There's Riggs getting tipped down to the apron, and everybody just swallowed up as those 33-degree bankings clean themselves of cars. They slide down into those who were trying to take evasive.
Saw Kenny Wallace in the 0-0 car hit that outside wall very hard. Remember, they just installed the safer barriers here.
And just remember, what goes up has to come down, and they go up, hit the wall, and then down the hill they come.
Riding with Jeff Gordon, it all happens behind him.
What's that? Yeah, the 97 just gets turned, man.
And first the top of the track clogs, and then the bottom. Rusty Wallace. Hit his youngest brother, Kenny Wallace.
Man, that was hard. And they're still piling in.
That's Casey Kane, who just piled in. Let's ride with Casey Kane. It's Derek Cope just ahead.
That is a hard lick.
Oh, that one was really hard.
Couldn't see who that was, but we're about to ride with the pinball in all this, which is Kenny Wallace. Lights out. Preliminary indication is that 10 cars were involved in this crash in turn 3 at lap 84. The Wallace brothers, Terry Labonte, Casey Kane, Scott Riggs, Ryan Newman, Dave Blaney, Derek Cope, Kurt Busch. We have to add Tony Stewart to that list, whose contact with the 97 ignited that pileup.
Yeah, it was ever so slightly, but when you're entering turn 3 over there and you just brush up against the guy that's in front of you, well, you see what can happen.
Now, all of those were lead lap cars.
You can see on Tony's car there is just absolutely very little damage. It was just a touch, but that's all it takes.
You're running that fast, it don't take much at all.
Talladega following the big one. Kurt Busch involved in that. Let's check in with Jeannie Zalasko.
Well, guys, I guess the good news, Kurt Busch physically okay, mentally obviously upset right now. I'm listening to you with the one-word answers, trying to put on a good face and looking forward to next week, but I guess maybe a little frustration with the 20 car?
Yeah, we drafted down the front straightaway together real well, and all race I acknowledged he was on the bottom lane. That's cool, you know, we drafted together. I was going to call him on Monday. Dude, everything was great. I don't know why he committed to turn 3 as late as he did. He knew he needed to follow me, and now we're here instead of out on the track. It's a bad finish. So far this year, our 2 worst finishes are on restrictor plate races.
Thank you for the time.
Jeannie, a winner last week at Martinsville. Rusty Wallace not going to make it 2 for 2. Rusty, what happened?
Oh, there was just a big pileup. That's all there was to it. Everybody was really running close. There was a lot of bumping and banging out there. A lot more banging than I've seen here in the past. You know, this is always a nail biter, no doubt about it. But a lot of bumping and banging, and I guess somebody tagged somebody and turned them sideways. And I was all the way up top of the racetrack. I had a good car. You know, I took a couple times, ran it up front, but I was just kind of hanging out on top of the racetrack because I was just tired of getting in that mess, you know, and the top lane after a while, I just couldn't make much ground, so I moved down to center, started trucking forward, and that particular lap, I moved back up to the top, and when the wreck happened, I was 3 wide, couldn't get back down.
How different the racing compared to Daytona with this same package?
Oh, the racing is much, much different here. At Daytona, the cars get away from each other. You know, the tires wear, handling really gets into it, but everybody's cars are handling here, and they're all on top of each other, to bumper, but man, I just couldn't believe how forceful everybody was getting. There was a lot of people running into each other. There's cars running really, really good. They'd come by me, and their right sides are tore off, noses are tore off, and they're still bashing into people. But it's an exciting race for the fans, but I'll tell you what, for a driver, it's not too much fun out there, I'll tell you that. And I hate that our cars tore up, although we're able to drive it to the garage. They're getting the left front fender on it now. We're going to get back on and get some points.
Thanks, Rusty.
Right,
Mike?
Of the 11 cars involved, the only one able to continue after brief repair is Terry Labonte. That'll leave us 31 cars on the lead lap. Jeff
with his teammate,
Kevin Harvick.
But look at the outside line. Jamie McMurray in the 42 car. Michael Waltrip in the 15. He's fighting his way back up.
Gordon inches ahead.
Right there is where Junior is so strong. Sailing off into the
trouble.
turn.
One car around, and it's Brian Vickers.
All right, the caution is out, and we are past the red flag lap. We are past the red flag lap. But remember, the field was frozen when the caution flag came out.
And who at that moment was the leader? We'll have to go back and see.
It would be obviously either Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 8 or Jeff Gordon in the 24.
Brian Vickers able to drive away after bringing out the 11th caution of the day in turn 3.
Well, there's no debris, there's no problem with the racetrack. I mean, I can't imagine we can't get this thing back started here with 4 laps to go.
The field is frozen at the moment of caution, which NASCAR defines as when the flag waves or the lights come on. They have scoring loops around the track to look at positions of the various cars and video replays to aid them in resetting the field. Can they reset it in time?
Yeah, and based on the last couple of restarts with the 8-car Dale Jr., I don't know if they have to go green-white checker if he can get up to speed as quick as some of these other guys seem to be able to.
Even though NASCAR was sorted out, as you see these two guys behind the pace car, both of them want up there. They want behind. They want to be the first car behind that pace truck.
We are at a point where the red flag would no longer be displayed to stop this race, sort things out. They do announce in the drivers' meeting the last lap on which that could happen, and we have passed that point. So either we gather the field up for a restart, or they take a look at how they were running at the moment of caution to decide the finish.
And when you are challenging the call, you pull up beside the guy. So how many challenges do we have here?
Jeff Gordon will be the leader.
And I think they just told the crowd that too.
Scoreboard is not yet changed to reflect that, but that is what we're being told as of the moment of caution. Question will be, can we get restarted?
I think we're going to have a green, white, and checker. That's the way it's looking to me.
Well, to do that, Darrell, they'd have to give 1 to go when they come past the start line, and we're not seeing that indication.
Yeah, this is...
we're now on 3 to go.
We can come by the next time, and I don't know. Don't look like we're going to make it.
If they give them 1 to go next time, that means we would have a 1-lap shootout.
Yeah, it'd be
now,
green.
There's Brian Vickers. Watch the 25 on the right of your screen.
He gets squeezed in there, and he gets loose, and he gets down in the side of the 41 car, Casey Mears.
Boy, Michael Waltrip, the 15, Ricky Rudd, the 21, just
Ricky,
getting by.
I think Ricky may have eclipsed him.
So now, here's
Gordon.
Jeff Gordon leading, Harvick and Junior.
Yeah.
The car is sideways. And in NASCAR's determination at the moment of caution, that's when they decide who is the race leader. Not at the instant the car spins, but when the caution is issued by the NASCAR officials next door and on the flag stand.
And you got to remember, when they say up over here in the booth, put it out, it takes a second for the flagman to even get it out.
There you right there, the yellow lights were on. So we pretty much know if we're going to get back racing, we have to get one to go this next time.
Oh boy, that could be disastrous.
And for that to happen, NASCAR needs to make sure that the track is clear and that the field is aligned.
I don't know.
27 lead lap cars.
Looks like the flagman is pretty well committed to the yellow flag. I don't see him going for the green.
So we'll be on 2 to go this time.
And if they don't give a 1 to go, that would be it.
Yeah, we come in, next time by, we're coming to the white. They'd have to give them 1 to go right now.
No such signal. So again, let's show you what happens. Here are the leaders. There is the spin.
And you saw he was about a half a car length ahead of Dale Earnhardt Jr. when Brian Vickers was completely sideways. Yellow lights already blinking.
That's the kind of finishes we have here. We normally just have them down here at the start-finish line. That was about a half a car length. Look at that car. Sides all beat in on it. Tires got the Goodyear rubbed off of them. But that baby's going to victory circle.
NASCAR instituted these rules more than half a season ago to freeze the field at the moment of caution to prevent racing back to the caution flag. There had been a gentleman's agreement in place not to race back unless you were challenging the leader. But as time went on and the pressure to win became great, NASCAR found that the gentleman's agreement had pretty much dissolved, and they needed to take action to ensure the safety of all the drivers on the racetrack, especially one that might have spun and found himself sitting facing the field as they came racing back to the caution flag. So that's why the change was made, in the interest of safety. And on balance, having had half a season to look at it, it was a good move.
Yeah, and it's a rarity. It has been in the past for us to end these races like this. It happens occasionally, and it's unfortunate that you know, we have to end the thing under caution, but it's for everybody's best interest.
The last restart I remember here at Talladega that they gave with 1 lap to go ended up with Rusty Wallace upside down while battling Dale Earnhardt for the lead on a 1-lap shootout. Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jimmy Johnson, Kevin Harvick, Robbie Gordon, 5 Chevrolets lead the Fords of Mark Martin and Jeff Burton, the Dodges of Casey Mears and Jamie McMurray, and Bobby Labonte's Chevrolet. They will be the top 10 if they're able to complete this final lap at what looks like an agonizingly slow 70 miles per hour. White flag.
I'm sure NASCAR will have a lot of sorting out to do because we have 27 cars on the lead lap figuring out who finished where. But we had a lot of Fords that were strong today. Mark Martin, Jeff Burton, a lot of Dodges, Casey Mears, Jamie McMurray. But right now, as scoring sits, Chevrolets are in the top 5 positions.
Still, you got to give a call to Mark Martin and Burton. Jeff Burton particularly. I mean, that team has struggled. And to get a top 10 today, a 7th place finish. Michael fell all the way back to 12th. Brendan Gaughan. We didn't talk much about him today. He's up to 13th there at the finish.
And Bobby Labonte, who we documented during the day, rode at the back. Right now, he's being scored in 10th position in that 18 car.
Pole sitter Ricky Rudd will end up 16th or 17th here. Raw rookie Eric McClure in his first Cup start will finish on the lead lap, and it will be Chevrolet's 11th straight Talladega victory.
Spencer, they got the 21st spot there in the 4 car, so pretty good day for Morgan McClure. Kyle Petty up there in 24th. Schrader led the race there a little while. 23rd.
Let's say that's one happy group right there.
Good job, guys.
It's one of the fabricators who obviously plays a big role in a restrictor plate race car, the body, the aero side of it. And of course, the person these cautions hurt the most was Tony Stewart in that 20 car who was on the green flag lap.
Been perfect lately, so let's wait till I get that start-finish line. 4.
Now, Tony Stewart will be 22nd. Just could not gain any ground after having to make that
Free all over the place out there. Just watch it.
That final stop. And that's what NASCAR was concerned about. A lot of debris on the racetrack.
Play all Budweiser cans.
However, that debris has come from that section of the grandstand. That's a sad commentary. The fans, of course, they want to see a green flag finish. Safety of the drivers, though, is paramount. And Jeff Gordon will win the Aaron's 499 over Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jimmy Johnson, Kevin Harvick, and Robbie Gordon. Jeff Gordon, whose luck this season hasn't been what he wished for, he was lucky and good.
Unbelievable, baby. Unbelievable.
I submit to you Miller's record. Miller
got onto the track upset with Jeff Gordon winning under the caution flag, and we'll hear from Jeff Gordon in just a moment. Let's rejoin Mike, Larry, and Darrell upstairs.
Chris, in a bizarre incident, after taking the checkered and caution flag together, Tony Stewart watched Tony's car as he goes past the line and then inexplicably makes a left turn right in front of Terry Labonte, causing damage to both cars. Stewart then came the length of pit road the wrong way up to the spoiler check before going to the garage. We will talk to Tony Stewart in a bit. Here's Chris.
Earnhardt Jr. for the most, Jeff Gordon came in tied with Dale Earnhardt Jr. for the most restrictor plate wins among active drivers with 6. He now has 7 after winning here. Let's get down to victory lane with Jeff and Matt Yoakum.
And the DEI Talladega streak ends at 5 as Jeff Gordon wins his first restrictor plate points paying race since this event back in the year 2000. A big win for the 24 guys. Despite how big to beat the DEI guys.
Woo, man, thank God somebody did. I didn't want to do it that controversial. I tell you, the Pepsi boys put it on the beer boys today, but I tell you what, wow, what an amazing day. What a great race. This package that we have here is incredible. I'm so happy that NASCAR's picked what they have here and makes for great racing, and it's about the safest thing as we could possibly have out there too. But man, I tell you what, it was hairy and just staying out of trouble. Got to thank DuPont, of course, Pepsi, GMAC, Quaker State. Who else do we have on here?
Well, Papa Joe called from the hospital. He could not believe how exciting that win was.
Well, we've been trying to get one for Papa Joe, and I know Rick and Papa Joe are watching back to hospital, boys. This one's for you, yes!
Long time since you've won a plate race, Jeff.
Long time since I've won a race, it seems like, but I can't think of a better one to win. You know, we run so darn good on the restrictor plate tracks, but those DEI guys have just been embarrassing us, and yeah, I didn't know what was going to happen there. I mean, I knew I got ahead of them, you know, going into 3. I couldn't pass them. I'd pass them, but I wasn't passing them. You know, and luckily right before I put the afterburner on, the caution must have come out. So I'm going to go with NASCAR on that one. I'm not sure if everybody here agrees, but I certainly do.
And there was a lot of debris out on that racetrack, too.
Yeah. I'm not sure if they were Pepsi cans or beer cans, but there was a lot of aluminum out there on the track, that's for sure. So I did a burnout over all those cans. And, man, I tell you what, it just feels great to get back to victory lane and to celebrate these guys right here. This is one awesome race team right here. Hendrick Motorsports, their whole entire organization, Robbie Loomis, Brian Weitzel. It's a phenomenal day for us.
Jeff Gordon scores his 3rd career Talladega win.
Well, in a real demonstration of class, Dale Earnhardt Jr. stopped at the 24 car, Jeff Gordon's car, and congratulated them on the win. And everybody else in the top 5 that has pushed by here, you've reached around to congratulate them. But let's talk about the finish. Was the decision by NASCAR correct? Did Gordon win the race as far as you're concerned?
Well, I mean, I'm biased, of course, but I felt like I was ahead of him before the light came on, and certainly, I mean, if I beat the light, had to been pretty close on the flag. So, you know, I don't know. I couldn't see the flag stand. I don't know exactly how NASCAR makes their decision on freezing the field, exactly when they freeze it, but I thought I was a miles ahead of him. I didn't even think it was close, but it's a great points day, 1st or 2nd. So pretty happy about that. Unfortunately, you know, we don't make the decisions or the rules, and we'll listen to what NASCAR has to say. I think Tony Sr. wants to see the film, wants to see what their decision, how they base their decision, and we'll go with that. So we've learned in the past to keep our mouths shut and to keep a better attitude about it, and it was a fun. I mean, I had a blast. I had so much fun. You know, it was a couple times I shouldn't have finished the race, so we were real fortunate just to be where we were at the end.
Like we